So Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 was at the Game Awards. We thought another game was gonna be there, but one of the individuals said you thought. It was like, all right, and so it actually wasn't there. So you're kind of mad, like, man, it really wasn't there. But then you kind of just calm down, like, man, said it wasn't gonna be there. So, you know what? I ain't gonna get too much into it. I mean, I don't wanna. It ain't my turn yet. I don't want to take the shine from Mr. Gamer if I want to get punched. So, Mr. Gamer, what do you think about Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 being shown at the Video Game Awards? We got some character reveals. We got some gameplay. We got some mechanics being showed. How do you feel?
So I'm actually quite surprised, pleasantly surprised at what they showed. Maybe half and half. Because when they first initially showed like the gameplay, people thought that. I think some people thought like, okay, this is gameplay, but it looks too good. So we gotta wait to see another trailer to see if this is actually how the game's gonna look. And the game looks like that. It looks fantastic. I saw a side by side of Law from Tekken 7 and Tekken 8, and this literally Tekken 7 looks good. It's a nice looking game, but it's like night and day. I'm like, this is kind of insane, to when you see a jump from it's always like I love seeing jumps in generations. Like when a notable one was like Tekken 2 to Tekken 3. He was like, man, we getting to this level. Like back in the day, we used to say, man, it's real people on the screen. We get to that point where it's real people on the screen. But Tekken 8 looked dope, man. They showed like Rexon said, they showed some mechanics. They showed Paul, who looks dope with his new redesign. Law, they showed King, Jack. I'm assuming Jack 8. I don't know. I was assuming Jack 8, maybe Gun Jack, because he got some huge, look like a gun on his shoulder that I think he actually used as an attack, which looked pretty dope. Like he did some attack and then like summoned from the sky or something. I'm like, I might play Jack if you're doing this. Looks like you got some Dead or Alive environmental damage. King knocked Jack into the wall and exploded. I'm like, oh, so y'all doing that? Then they got some Dash Council stuff. The game looks fire. The stages look amazing. Overall, Tekken 8 right now is looking insanely good. The presentation is a 10 out of 10. I'm sure they're gonna be still deliver with the gameplay. Right now, it's shaping up to be something pretty good. Like it's looking amazing. Now Street Fighter 6.
You ain't a real Tekken fan. You didn't say nothing about June this whole time.
I mean, okay, I did forget about June. I mean, she's one of my favorite characters. I mean, she's just been gone for so long. It's good. It's good to see her back for sure. When the trailer first started, I thought it was Lily because I couldn't quite see it. I'm like, is this? Why are they putting a spotlight on Lily? And I kept looking. I'm like, oh, this is June. Now, I'm glad y'all made me remember that, because now I'm thinking like, are they going to tie in the Netflix series into this? Because it looks like they're going like they're doing something where maybe Jin is a kid. That's what they did in the Tekken Bloodline. So I'm thinking like, are they doing something like going back to that or tying Bloodline into Tekken 8, which that would be dope. I don't know, like, is she actually back? Because I mean, it's Tekken, so if you're dead in Tekken, it doesn't matter. You can still be in the game playable. So it doesn't really matter.
Unless
but
you're
I mean,
King.
Yeah, in a new interview, Harada won't even 100% validate that Hihachi is dead. So
I mean, in Tekken, I mean, people get thrown in volcanoes and they come out unscathed. So hey, maybe people got devil gene. Maybe Tekken Heihachi developed some type of gene. But yeah, it's definitely awesome to see June come back. She was like really one of my favorite characters in Tekken 2. When Tekken 3 came out, I was a little sad that she wasn't in the game, but it's dope to see her back now. Again, I don't know if she's gonna be like a spirit, if she's just in the story mode. I don't know, what capacity, but it seems like she's gonna be a playable character. But I'm definitely that story mode look like it's gonna be kind of fire too, because Jin and his father are doing some Dragon Ball Z style, Bleach style fighting. So that's gonna be dope to see. Now on to Street Fighter. Man, they showed off the character that I'm the most hyped for. It's three characters. Kimberly is one of the characters I'm hyped for that I want to play. JP and Aki. And they showed off JP. They showed JP, DJ, Marissa and Manon, which I thought at one point her name was Mimi. I thought, but I don't know. But it's Manon now. Whatever. All the characters look great. The stages look insane. Marissa looks hype. She looked like she can punch a mountain in half. She looked like she's like from what I'm gathering, she looks like a Balrog Sagat hybrid, kind of. Maybe. Maybe a little Alex, just a little bit. She has Urion's step kick. I know that for sure. That thing looks crazy. You got what's Manon, who looks very similar to Lily from Tekken. That's the first thing I thought about when I saw her movement. She's like I guess like the able equivalent, but she's like a dancer, so it's like dancing judo or whatever. And then you got JP. Well, DJ of course looked dope. I mean, I'm so happy that they brought DJ back and he looks as hype as he does. He got the style, the personality, his attacks, and just seeing him animated in this new generation looks absolutely insane. And JP, I've been waiting for this character to see what he's gonna play like, and he literally plays exactly like my mind. Like I had a vision of how he would play in my mind, and he plays just like that. He uses the cane. I like, please let the cane be in his play style. And also, not to mention, he also reminds me, I'm sure if you play Soul Calibur 5, he reminds me of Zwei with the little demon, the demon thing.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that play style, that mechanic they gave Zwei with their wolf spirit. I'm like, bro, this character looks so fire. I cannot wait to play this game. I really wish these characters was gonna come in this upcoming beta next week.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt it, but man, that would be so fire. And unfortunately, the people that were looking for Cammy at the Game Awards didn't get her, but I'm sure she'll probably be like the next one they show off. But overall, Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6 looks awesome. Hopefully, MK12 gonna come out and blow us away too. But right now, these two games are looking fire, straight fire.
Yeah. So yeah, I think like Tekken 8. I'm gonna start with Tekken 8. I mean, I'm a huge Tekken fan, man. I've been like a Tekken fan for really for a really long time, since like I think the first time I played Tekken on like an arcade back when my dad used to take us to go get haircuts, at the barbershop. And
must have been a while ago then.
Huh? Would you
say? It
say?
must have been a while ago then if you was going to get a haircut.
Yeah, right. But yeah, like he used to like take us, and like we used to play, like, if he was getting his haircut, we would like be over on the side playing Tekken. And yeah, man, like Tekken, I mean, the evolution from like then to now is ridiculous, like Mr. Gaming Lift said, it's like, they're getting to the point where it's like almost like real people on the screen. The only thing is I kind of prefer there to be like there are a few degrees of separation between like realistic, like the whole realism, and like the way the characters look, because I don't know, I kind of prefer there to be some sort of like, it to look still kind of like a video game, if that makes sense. But yeah, man, like the way that the game looks incredible. The characters look cool. I mean, yeah, Jin and Kazuya, like their war, I guess they put it on pause for Tekken 7, and now it's like restarted up between them again in Tekken 8, and they're just like going ham. Like people are getting caught in the crossfire. Like, I mean, they're just destroying buildings and everything. Like, I remember somebody was saying that like now they're to the point where they're saying that Jin can actually transform into Devil Jin mode, like in the middle of the match, instead of having to wait for like rage or something like that. But apparently Kazuya can do his devil transformation as well, which I'm like, wow, that's actually pretty nifty. I kind of feel like at that point, if you're going to do that, we don't really need like a Devil Jin like separate character anymore. If you're going to, in my opinion, I just feel like, you might as well just play Jin and just transform at the beginning of the fight and call it a day. But yeah, addition to that, Jun Kazuma came back after like I mean, the last time she was in like a numbered game was back on Tekken 2. Like, yeah. It's been a long time, like 1990s long time. Like, it has been a ridiculously long time since she's had anything really like substantial to do with the actual canon of like Tekken at all. Every time that they talked about Jun Kazuma, it's like Jin is like, oh, I miss my mom. Oh, I saw that vision of her over there. Like, she stopped me from killing this guy, or something like that, But we haven't actually had her in an actual like canon game for so long, and every year people are like, when is she coming back? And finally she's back. Now, what capacity, that remains to be seen, but it's good to see her back regardless. In regards to Street Fighter 6, yeah, it looks real good. Like, it's 100, it looks really good. When they showed Manon, I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of like, Lily? At first I was kind of like, Lily? I'm like, oh, okay, that's a completely different character. Because like initially I was like, that looks like a really like an even more glamorous Lily. And I'm not like, and I'm her, I wouldn't say her fighting style is similar, but her definitely, in some ways it is, but her general aura, like the way she presents herself is I think it's similar to like Lily in a few regards. So that was actually pretty cool. I mean, and I guess since, the last time like they had like Lily and Street Fighter cross Tekken, so I guess like that's not a huge jump, I guess. Yeah, DJ looks pretty cool, which is great. JP, I was actually kind of surprised. I was like, wow, like this character looks like a straight like demon. Like he's like, in like the sense that he looks like somebody who's going to be a problem in actual matches. I think the character that I saw that I was really that I looked at, I'm like, I want to play that character, is Marissa, though. I think that is the character that I would really like to try out. I think she looks like a wholesale like a destroyer, and she looks like Mr. Gaming Lift was pointing out, that she has like that kind of like hybrid striker grappler thing going on, and I think that's really cool. I like characters that do that kind of thing. So that'll definitely be a character that I would like to try out ASAP. As far as the Game Awards is concerned, like it seems like fighting games were made a pretty good showing. The only thing that quick side note, the only thing I would complain about is that why is it when we do a thing for esports, they're like, when they say, oh, like the best esports game or the best esports player, there never, as far as there aren't any like fighting game players and best esports player. Like I remember,
I noticed that too.
Back in like 2019, like I went to was it the esports? They had the awards over, I think, over in over in Arlington, and that was the year that, like, if I remember correctly, that was the year that Arslan Ash came onto the scene, and like he was like making big waves, and he didn't even get nominated, like not even nominated. Forget about winning, but like his name wasn't even like, he wasn't even in consideration, which I even now is like heinous to be honest. Like that was, I mean, if there was ever like a great story to be told about esports glory, there was none better that year. There was none better. So it was kind of messed up that he wasn't even nominated. In addition to that, it's like, what's the best esports game? No fighting games on there, none. You got Valorant and stuff like that on there, and I think like some of those games deserve their places, but I feel like the fighting games in general still like deserve a place, in my opinion. Like there's some fighting like Street Fighter and like Tekken and stuff, even like Guilty Gear, that like deserve a place of honor amongst esports games.
Well, when you say esports, it's kind of like saying pop music. It's like it's what's popular.
I mean, yeah, and I feel like like fighting games are like, they're not like the most popular like esports kind of, but they're pretty popular, and there are big things happening in the fighting game community, like even like especially in regards to like like Tekken 7, what was like, I mean like a game that's been supported pretty consistently since the game dropped. Like new seasons, new characters, like they just like stopped, like they just had like the most recent character not that long ago. Like Kunimitsu didn't come out that long ago, if you think about it. Like what was it, like earlier this year, I think. So it hasn't been that long. So I'm just saying, like, these are games that like get consistent, like bring in consistent people, get consistent support from the community. So I think like it would have been nice for one of them, not even all of them, but at least one of them, to be considered along with all those other games. I think that would have been fair. But I mean, who am I to say? I'm just some guy talking. So yeah, man, I would have to say that, yeah, that aside, I would have to say that I was pretty pleased with what I saw in the trailers and stuff. All there is now is to, like, you know, especially for like Street Fighter 6, to not have too many, like, because I remember one of my friends, he played the beta for Street Fighter 5, and he said the beta for Street Fighter 5 was substantially different from the actual game that came out. So like, we're here's hoping that, like, you know, we still have like the same amount of like goodness that we see in the beta when the actual game drops. And for us, Tekken 8, I mean, I have all the confidence in the world that Tekken will be a good game. Like, I mean, from Jump Street. I mean, they usually, Namco Bandai is pretty good about that, about like pacing themselves and coming out with a good product from the very beginning. So yeah, man, Game Awards are pretty good to me, man. I have no complaints other than the complaints that I made that don't have anything to do with the actual games.
All right, so for me, I'm gonna speak on Street Fighter 6 first. For me, Street Fighter is continuing to do what it has been doing for the past couple of times we've been seeing info on it. I mean, it shined. It was spectacular. Everybody saw something that they loved. When it comes to the characters, the one that stands out the most to me is JP. You know, I'm a villains guy. You know, I like somebody that just comes in and 100% just throws caution and doesn't hold back its power, nothing like that. Like, look, I'm in here to destroy stuff. I'm finna give you every last, ain't no holding back. I'm finna give you every last bit of power I got and get you up out of here. Like when dude grabbed Ken face, just was squeezing the life out of him and then threw him in the sky and then just threw his hands up and just dagging him to death with psycho energy. I was like, we need that. We need that type of energy. You know, so you know, the little mini games and stuff like that that we saw when the trailer first started and stuff like that. You could tell that they're really trying to, like, they heard us for years constantly say like, you know, Street Fighter 5 is at a good spot now, but I remember it was bare bones trash when it came out, you know. So they've heard that, you know, because people consistently say it throughout the throughout the years. The first impression of it was pretty bad. That was great. Also in World Tour mode, you see now that you can have like somebody come in and assist you in the beat 'em up gameplay that they have and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. So you can tell they're trying to they really trying to like go esports with this. They're really trying to get a lot of people in the gaming realm to come play this game. You know, hey, if you're somebody that, you know, scared to go up against, you know, Falcon Leghorn 719 online, you know, hey man, stay in War Tour mode, you know, do the different stuff that we have in here. We have stuff for you, man. Play the game, you know. Enjoy the stories, you know. They're really, you can tell they're really trying to push Luke to be the main character now. Like he is like really at the forefront of every, you know, piece of content they put out now. When they released the different editions of the game, Luke was at the forefront. So you can really tell they're trying to push him. You really don't see Ryu too much. What else? As far as all the other characters besides JP, what's the grappler lady's name from Italy?
Marissa.
Yeah, she looks, I mean, violent would be the word that comes to my mind. It was funny. I saw what his Kami actually say that man, they say they changed Luke's forward grab because it was too violent, but then they got Marissa over here literally doing Greek Roman statue type violent poses and beating people in the face with no regard. I mean, you know, I mean, she literally like straight Spartan kicking people across the screen. So I mean, she's also somebody that looks very, very interesting. I'm not gonna lie. The girl from France, what's her name?
Manon.
Manon or Manon?
Manning, yeah, she didn't really look that interesting to me. I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I mean, not everybody gonna like everything. I mean, even her special, it was just her making you be in certain poses with her and stuff like that, and then you fall, and I was just like, okay, you know. So, I mean, of course, DJ is cool. You know, I mean, another brother, man. What I'm supposed to say? I mean, I'm keeping it true. Um, So I mean, he was definitely cool. We saw he might actually have a feint with one of his fireballs. If you saw in the trailer, like before he threw the two, he kind of threw one. Now some people say it's a feint. Some people say it might actually be a charge. Who knows? That way, he
Yeah.
charged, then he like threw two,
Hmm.
or it might be a feint, and then he threw two some other way. Who knows? We'll figure out when the game comes out. But yeah, man. I mean, it was fantastic for me, Street Fighter Six. But the reason why I wanted to do Street Fighter Six first was because I've delved so much into Tekken 8 because Harada has released like two interviews within like a day of the game coming out, and so for us being a media network, we have to keep up with this stuff. But so Tekken 8, the first thing that stood out to me was Tekken 8 was like, this game looks beautiful. The colors were vibrant. Everything looked lively. When you saw them fighting in New York City, oh my goodness. It was just like this game looked like it's going on PS6. Like, so it looked fantastic. And like Devin said, Tekken 7, not no game to sneeze at, but compared to this one, it's just like, oh my goodness. You could tell they did go very, very vibrant with the colors though. And it worked. I mean, it looked beautiful. Um June, of course. You know what's funny? I was never the biggest Tekken fan, but then next thing you know, I played Tekken Tag Tournament 2. And for a long time, Devin was mushing my face in the floor. But I kept trying to play it the team that I had was actually June and martial law. So it was funny. I was playing June. I had no idea she hadn't been in the Tekken game since Tekken 2. So I was thinking like, man, if I get in Tekken, I could play her. And not knowing if I wanted to play it, I'd have to go break out the PlayStation 1. But but
She was
I
in tag.
I
Right?
had no idea, but she was in Tekken Tag. So uh she was one of my favorite characters, like off the rip when I started playing Tekken. So to see her actually coming back in the mainline Tekken is amazing. I can't wait to see the top tier players that are gonna play her because I know my place in this video game where I just report the news. I can't wait to see other people like handle her. Also, another thing I want to say about JP from Street Fighter Six, I hope he doesn't look this fantastic and still kind of just be like tier. Cause I remember when Rose was coming out and we was looking at everything that Rose was doing in Street Fighter Five, and we was like, oh my goodness, she ain't got no choice but to be top tier. And then next thing you know, she was kind of like tier for everybody. A lot of people didn't play her. So but back to Tekken 8. So yeah, we saw different characters, Lars, Kazuya, Jin, um, Jack. We saw King, so we saw all these different characters. Was that Forrest or martial law?
That was I think that was Forest Law.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Forrest, we saw him, and I mean, obviously, he went and either got on the Devin Butts program or he on some TRT. If y'all know I ain't gonna say what TRT is, but if y'all know what TRT is, you know what it is. He taking some Skittles. We'll just say that.
Oh goodness.
He's on a good dose of Skittles. Um, but but I mean, the dude got like 2% body fat and abs in his armpits. So he's looking fantastic. He's actually fighting with weapons now, and we actually saw him and Jack actually fight with weapons. Whatever huge military grade war machine gun that he came in there with, you actually saw him actually fighting with it in game. And so Law was fighting with nunchucks in game. So that's actually great. We're seeing that. Then they have the new Heat. I think it's called Heat Wave or Heat Mechanic. I think that's the new mechanic that's called. So it's actually looks like it's some type of dash cancel that we saw, but it actually might be more properties to it. They might just be, hiding a little bit. And actually in the interview with Harada, they was actually saying like, hey, since you have this new system, is the rage mechanic going away? And so he was basically like, no, it's not going away. That's going to be there. The new heat system is going to be there. And he basically was saying, like, look, we're trying to make this game like great to play and great to watch. We're trying to make it as offensive as we possibly can. We ain't trying to have nobody doing this in the corner. like throw
Oh
hands
man.
or you finna get off the sticks real fast. So, I mean, so you got people in the community that likes that. Some people don't like that. You know, at the end of the day, it is a fighting game. If we're trying to play this at the highest level,
Mm.
you know, I need to be able to have some defensive options. I mean, that does show my skill that, you know, no matter your onslaught, I can get out of it. So hopefully they don't go too crazy with it because he's really saying he wants to make it great for spectators and all that other stuff. But you know, a lot of times, you know, if you try to make it good for everybody, you start taking away from everybody a little bit. Um, so hopefully that isn't anything that's an issue. Um, Torada also spoke about the base roster that's going to be in Tekken 8. I think the base roster of Tekken 7 came with like 32. Was he 32 or 36 characters?
Yeah, those are good amount of
Um,
characters.
but he didn't promise that it was going to be as high as Tekken 7 when it first came out because he was like, look, with this Unreal Engine, we did everything from scratch. So by the time this game come out, he basically said, look, at the end of the day, Tekken is known for having more characters than all these other video games because they scrubs. He basically like violated them. Like, look, you know we gonna be better than the competitors. Don't even worry about that. But as far as like launch, I
Wow.
mean, you know, I mean he did. He kind of like violated them. But he was like, as far as launch, I mean, I can't promise you it's gonna be as much as it was, but at the end of the day, we're gonna have a lot. So, you know, everybody break out your wallets for those season passes.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, and what else did he say? Because I've been reporting on it a lot. He's basically talking about how he wants the game to be aggressive. And what else? As far as they can come, that's the most they can come to my mind right now. But yeah, so Tekken 8 really impressed me. Now I wish the trailer would have been longer. This section is long, but I mean, hey, this is Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6, which I want from. Now I wish the trailer could have been longer. There was no release date, so you know there's kind of ho hum with that. But I mean, hey, I mean, it maybe it's not ready for them to do it. I saw Romanova. She was talking about how people should really just enjoy the ride. You know, you're gonna get constant info. You're gonna see constant stuff. Nobody's gonna leave you dry and stuff. You know, not every game that's announced is gonna be, you know, immediately ready for to give you a release date. But you know, I mean, it's not anything I'm upset about. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people, when you saw them releasing Tekken 8 and how they've been releasing it, you're kind of like, it's probably gonna be a while before this game comes out. Like when Street Fighter 6, when they started releasing that info on that and stuff like that, how they was doing it, we was like, oh, this game isn't too far off. June was kind of further than we thought, but yeah, you know. So that's my thoughts. I'm so happy our Queen and Savior June is back. And yeah, anybody else got anything they want to add?